Hi, my name is Jay Williams, and the purpose of this video is to leave a referral, testimonial, kind of my story in working with Alex and Gabby and their team. And I guess first, the best place to start would be a little bit of backstory. I'm not exactly um, the ideal client per se. When I met Alex and Gabby, it was several years ago in kind of a different context and more of a business context, and we became friends. And so I had the opportunity to get to know them and be friends with them outside of their work. Then in April of 2020, my father got very sick very suddenly, and so I kind of put my life on hold to come and help take care of him, and he wound up passing away in June of 2020. And so during that time, dealing with all that the stuff that goes on with the loss of a relative, I remembered that was what Alex's specialty was. So I reached out to him, and he was amazing. He was able to talk me through options, give me recommendations, help me in a time that I really, I was really not being able to see clearly because of the loss. So even though it was an uncomfortable time, Alex was there and super helpful. And I thought, okay, well, at least I have some ways to go now. And me being a bit of a procrastinator at times, one of the things I remembered Alex saying when we had our conversation was, he says, you're in a position where you don't need to make a decision today. He says, take your time, see through things, and get to a point where you feel good and comfortable making a decision. And to have that pressure removed was, looking back, was really, really important. I didn't realize at the time how important those words would become. But I did kind of drag my feet for probably another year and a half. And during that time, I had conversations with other realtors and people who were interested in the property. They found out my dad had passed away. So there was a lot of distractions and people that wanted to talk about it, and people that, oh, we'll give you a really good deal and all cash and this offer, and you don't have to worry about anything. It's like, but the offers were, I thought, ridiculous. And so I finally reached the point where I was ready to make a move, and it was like, okay, enough is enough. I've had it. It's time for me to move on. I had in the interim, the last little bit of that, met someone and wound up falling in love and getting married. And I realized that it was time to move on with that part of my life, close that chapter with my dad's house, and begin anew. And so I reached out to Alex again, and I said, hey, I know it's been a long time, but I could use your help. And he's, there was no judgment whatsoever. He was super helpful. He says, yeah, I'll be glad to help. He looked over the situation. He called me back and he says, where you are in your situation, I would go ahead and list the property. I said, are you sure? I said, I really want to make this move quickly. And he says, right now, the way the market is, I think that's your best choice. Let's get it listed. Let's see what happens. He helped me put some other loose ends together. And now I have to confess, I've got a little confession. In the back of my mind, my thought was, there's no way this thing's going to sell right away, which is what I wanted. And I'm going to have to go through all these hassles now that we're listing it. And I had this little voice in the back of my head going, giving me all the little reasons why to not do it. But I trusted Alex. I had known him. I knew the kind of person he was, and he wouldn't tell me that unless he knew it was the right thing. So I said, okay, let's list it. The day I signed the listing contract, and I think it was the next day, he drove up to take pictures of the property and met a buyer at the property when he was before he even took pictures of it. He brought a buyer with him. While he was there, another came. So he showed the property twice the day he came to take the pictures of it. And that's when I knew I had made the right decision. So this, everything that I knew about Alex from being his friend and getting to know him was true in his profession as well. And so he brought already buyers with him. We had offers on the table literally within 48 hours. Wound up, I don't remember how many days, it was 3 or 4 or 5 days, accepted an offer. One of the things that I wanted to stress was that my new wife is from Greece, and there was a possibility that I would be out of the country when we opened escrow. And how are we going to do that? Alex even knew how to answer those questions. He knew. It's like, yeah, this is what we'll have to do. If you're out of the country, we'll make it happen. I said, okay, cool. Well, the offers that came in were above asking price. There were multiple offers. We were able to accept one and get the escrow started and get everything accomplished, even though I was out of the country. And I got to say, even though I questioned at first my decisions, Alex put me to ease. Gabby was amazing. Everything that happened, all the little things that needed to be taken care of, it was like they took care of it. Emails here, phone call here and there. It's done. It's taken care of. Things that I thought would be a problem. It's like, yeah, no, here, we can take care of it. We'll figure it out. And they did. And so now I realize that I probably should have done it a long time before I did. I wasted a lot of time thinking about it and worrying about what was going to happen. And it was all in my head. It was all in my head. So, if I were to say, would I use Alex again? Absolutely. No question. Would I recommend Alex? Absolutely. No question. If you have any questions, ask him. He'll give you the truth. He'll be honest with you. It may not be what you want to hear at the time, but that's okay, because he knows his stuff and he knows how to get things done. And my hats are off to Alex and Gabby and the rest of the team. And I just, I want to say to him personally, thanks again for making it an easy process, a lot easier than I expected.